Well, I found the January horror flop, lads. I found it. What Megan was supposed to be, here it is. Found it. The flop. The January vomit. This, lads, I woke up today. I didn't think I was doing anything after work. And then I get home, and then for one reason or another, I find out this little movie called Skinamarink is playing at the theater. And it's a horror movie. And I'm like, oh, okay. Why the fuck not? I don't know anything about it. The trailer looked okay. It looked interesting. It looked different. I'm like, why the hell not? I'll go. Why not? Why not, lads? So I go to the theater. I sit down. And then I didn't know I was in for an hour and 40 minutes of somebody's fucking weed trip. Somebody's fucking acid trip. Or this motherfucker looked like he snuck his phone into a fucking dream and then recorded it for an hour and 40 minutes and then took it back out. That's what this was, dude. That's what this was. That's really what this was, lads. And it's like, I mean, I was thinking about giving this a thorough, in-depth review, but I don't really have a lot to say here, lads. There's not a lot to say here. The director had, $15,000 to make this movie, so this is, nothing. Joker was, what? What was Joker? Budget of what? 55 million or something? 55 million for Joker? Something like that? 55,000? I think it's 55 million. I don't fucking know. 15,000 or something. Not much. This is the dirtest of dirt poor movies made for the dirtest of dirt poor prices. So the direct this is gonna be one of those movies that turns a massive profit. I heard it was big on film Twitter or something. So it's this movie's gonna be a success story for the guy who made it because he took a little tiny nothing budget and cranked out something that's making a shitload of money. And that means he's profitable to someone picking up the phone and giving him another call. When you know what? Maybe, good for him. Maybe he'll make something better. Because there are aspects of this movie where you can see that he has talent and he kind of knows what he's doing. But, I feel like the budget really got in the way. I feel like the type of story he wanted to tell, just, the budget got in the way. It was, he needed more money than what he had to, do it, for one. And then just, it's just, I don't know if it was the money, maybe. It's when you're thinking about, it's kind of fitting that my thoughts are jumbled all over the place, because that's how this entire movie was. Basically, the plot of this movie is two kids wake up and their dad's not there no more, and then the house and the doors and windows on their house are gone. And throughout the movie, some aspects of their house start disappearing. And that's pretty much a synopsis of this movie. And that's pretty much 95% of the plot of this movie. The rest of it is shots. It's shots of Lego bricks, shots of television and public domain cartoons that have probably been public domain for fucking 60 years at this point. Or Jesus. It's just, it's... There are aspects where it's the director shows you he kind of knows what the hell he's doing. The director kind of knows what the hell he's doing. You can tell that he kind of knows what the hell he's doing. It's almost shot in, a first-person perspective in some instances. All the camera shots are framed from, a childlike perspective. This movie's trying to take you back to childhood in a weird kind of way. It's trying to do that. It doesn't work, but it's trying. It's, the stuff it's trying to do are you can tell all the, I feel like that's why some people, give this movie a break, and some people are, really saying how great this is. Because it's on paper, the stuff it's trying to do, it makes sense. Okay, it's they're trying to take you back to childhood. There's a lot of low camera angles, so it's you're looking up at things. There's a shot where you're looking up at something where a kid's reaching for it. You're looking up at it, and it's the grainy presentation of the old VHS footage, and it's it reminds me of home video. If anybody had that back in the day, it's trying to do all this stuff, but it's the reason why it fails is it's not as deep as you think it is. Oh, look at me, I'm eliciting childhood because I am using VHS footage. You're not. No, you have no money. That's why you're doing it. You have no money. You have no money, bro. You have no money. Oh, we're not using any, we're using two kid actors, bro. We're not having a main character. You have no money. You can't pay anybody to be your main character. You have to use 2 kids because you don't have any money. You have to use 2 rando kids because you don't have any money. Like that's the real story. And it's also just comes as like, it's like this guy knows film Twitter is gonna do the work for him. So he's like, oh, I just gotta point the camera over here and point it like this, and I show you the kid's feet. Like the film Twitter go crazy. Like I know that like I pick things apart and go really deep into like a lot of movies that probably don't deserve it, like Megan and Halloween, the Rob Zombie versions. Well, but it's like I'm also like not just gonna fall for anything, dude. I'm not gonna fall for anything. This movie is asking for that. That's the problem. And you're asking for it. You're asking for someone to be like, oh, look how fucking deep it is, bro. It's not fucking deep. You have no fucking money. You have no fucking story. You have no coherency in your script, and you're trying to hide. You're trying to take every weakness of your movie and like say, oh, look how cool we are. We're breaking all the rules. We're doing everything we shouldn't be doing. We shouldn't be doing this, but we are. Isn't that so good? No, it's not. It's crap. It's crap. It's crap, dude. It's shit. That's like, sorry. Like, we're not fucking stupid. Like, I don't know how stupid you think we are. We're not stupid. It was, like, I'm not gonna be tricked into thinking that footage of Legos for an hour and a half is good. Like, there's not enough creative techniques, atmosphere, and imagery and shots that you can do to trick me into thinking that's good. Okay? The thing about shots, here's the thing, lads. We talked about this. I'm going to keep bringing up the fucking Rob Zombie movies because y'all think those are bad. So I'm just going to keep bringing them up. Like, a scene where, like, when we discussed Myers choking Linda in the Rob Zombie Halloween remake, we talked about things like, we talked about the shots, but we also talked about the inherent characterization that gives you, where Linda looks up at Myers because he is bigger than her. He is something else. He's something different. He's above a normal man. That's why she looks up at her and Myers looks down at her as he kills her, because she to him is trash. Or how he walks forward and takes up more of the frame as he comes to kill Laurie's parents. Like, about how, like, dominance, control of the situation. Right? That's why those shots exist. Or in Act 2 about how, or like how Act 1, the camera's all shaky in the 2007 remake because Myers is unhinged, while in Smith's Grove he's dormant. His personality is dormant, so the camera's still, right? Like, you see 2 very different aspects of in the third's like Zombie's 3 acts. Really, he uses a different camera perspective for every single act. Or there's things like in the OG Halloween where, like, Laurie is, like, leaning back and then Myers peeks out. He's silhouetted in shadow. Like, yeah, like, stuff like that. Like, the shape. He's kind of a ghost-like figure. He's a supernatural figure that, like, you don't know if he's fully human or if he's something more. And that's what his face being, like, half in shadow, like, demonstrates. Like, there's reasons this shit is happening. In fucking Skinamarink, there's none of that. It's just like, oh, look at this fucking public domain cartoon. Isn't that fucking deep? Look at this fucking toy phone. Let's make a loud freaking noise. Ha! Scared ya? Fuck you. It's not good, dude. It's not good. It's like the strongest aspects of this movie are the fucking children. Like when the kids are talking, that's when the movie shines. Like, when, like, shines in quotes, like shines in the way your piss shines when it's in the toilet. Yeah, that shines like that. Like, that's what that, like, when the kids are on screen, the kids are talking, then it's like you kind of see, like, you kind of get in that mind frame a little bit better because the kids are talking. But the problem is when the kids have no concept of what's going on or what's at stake in the movie. They're just kids. They have no idea what's going on, and that. Like, them being completely lost, and there's nobody to kind of fill in any of the blanks of what's actually fucking happening. So that means person A can look at this movie and go, this is a pile of fucking shit. There's nothing fucking happening. There's nothing happening, and the movie does a terrible job explaining what the fuck's happening. And then person B can go, "You're just stupid. You don't fucking get it. You're not as fucking smart as I am. Clearly, this means that. And then person C on film Twitter can go, "Well, I mean, I think you're right about that, but what about this, and this, and this, and blah, 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 blah." But it's like, the reason that there's so much discussion in different interpretations of what's going on is because it's so fucking vague. That's why. Not because it doesn't explain jack fucking shit. Whereas something like in Halloween, you can kind of, like, everybody kind of agrees that, like, he's supernatural, but, like, there's the human interpretation and a supernatural interpretation of Halloween. That's why Rob Zombie's movies exist, to kind of highlight the more human interpretation of the character, right? Or let's like something else, like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's never really stated in Texas Chainsaw Massacre that they're cannibals. That's just something that, like, that's kind of been agreed upon by the fan base in terms of the subtext that was going on within the movie, right? That's just kind of something. But like in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, there's enough for you to get that. There's enough for you to get that stuff, right? There's enough for you to get that shit. Or, like, I don't know, like, what's something else? I'm trying to think of another fucking movie, but it's also really late, so that's not helping my case here. And I also have Halloween on the brain, because I've been talking about it every fucking week of my life. Or, like, A Nightmare on Elm Street or something, where it's, like, there's a different, like, sometimes, like, why did Nancy turning her back on Freddy work? And then, like, what happens at the end? There's different interpretations people have, but there's shit happening. Like, did Freddy really disappear? Like, even though the ending sucks, and the real reason it's there is that the fucking producer wanted a sequel, and Wes Craven said no, but the producer got his way anyway. That's the real reason it's there. But, like, in the context of the movie, it's like, is Nancy in a dream the whole time? Is she not dreaming? What's going on? There's ideas you can fucking play with when you're watching A Nightmare on Elm Street. You can use the context of what's happening to form and discuss the scenes to get a different interpretation. And this, again, there's not enough context. It's all vague as fuck. It's all vague. It's just shots, and you're supposed to be bleh, and they go, whoa, isn't that creepy? And again, like, there's certain aspects of it, like I said, the kids talking, like, the kids are, like, the dialogue of the kids is actually pretty decent in this. Like, the times you feel uncomfortable are usually when the kids are speaking. And, like, there's a scene where, like the demon voice is like, look under the bed, and, like, the camera, like, sits still. Like, the camera's okay in this, and it's just, like, the actual execution of the premise is overall shit, and that's the problem. It's shit and vague, and you don't get anything. There's no substance, so your brain has to fill in the substance. That's why film Twitter's going crazy. Because they're tricking, like, this movie tricks you into filling in its fucking holes, and then you go, wow, it's complex. But the reason you fill in the holes to begin with is because it's not complex. So you're trying to make it more complex than it actually fucking is. It's actually incredible how well this guy tricked people into thinking his movie was deep. And it's like, again, I think, like, the director of this movie, the guy who made it, is actually talented. Like, he took no script. He took no script, and he took a premise that should have been a fucking 20-minute short film and made it into, like, an hour and 40 minutes. Good job, dude. Impressive. I haven't stretched that much since fucking soccer practice. Like, good job. I can't... Fucking Christ. So, like, that guy, you might be able to call him, he might be a fucking cinematographer in the future. Like that might be his role in future projects. But maybe he'll get another directorial role at some point. But it's like, I mean, so, like, the guy who made this is okay. It's just like he used his talents and limited resources to crap out something that is fucking fake complex. This isn't complex, it's just vague. There's a difference between complexity and being vague. And that's why I think people have lost sight of here when they're talking about this crap. Again, okay. Again, I'm not giving you a full synopsis of this plot because there's no plot. There's some kind of monster in the house, and it's, like, tormenting the kids. And that's the whole fucking 140-minute movie. Like, that's what you get. But it's, the way that the thing works is super slow, and it's not even a slow burn, because there's no burn. It's just slow. Like, if you're a normal person, you'll be fucking looking at your fucking dating apps in 10 seconds watching this. For real. That's what you'll be doing. Because there's nothing here. There's nothing here. There's a scene where the telephone gives off a jump scare that fucking woke up the 2 other people in the theater with me watching this shit. That's the one time they got any form of reaction, because there was a jump scare. And it's just like, you can't even tell if it's in chronological order, especially at the end. It's just a fucking mess. It's a mess that instead of, it's like that fucking scene from that Knives Out movie that I didn't like that movie either. But there's a scene like where the detective guy is going, it's so dumb. And then Film Twitter sitting there going, it's so dumb, it's brilliant. And I'm sitting here going, no, it's just dumb. It's just fucking dumb. You will, like, if you watch this, you are wasting your life, okay? You're wasting your life. Shudder should have left this one on the streaming service and put something else in the theaters. It's like, it's okay. I'm glad it exists, but like, I mean, experimental projects deserve to exist. It's just this one. I know it's gonna make a shit ton of money, especially with its budget, but it's just, in terms of quality, no. No, I get it's a passion project or whatever the fuck for this guy, because I mean, he had $15,000 and still fucking shit this out. So good for you. Hopefully that this movie does what it needs to do for that guy, and we can get him on a project where he can create these types of imagery and some of the creepy imagery that actually does work in this movie. He can put this movie on his resume to start his career, and he can work with some other people. Like, maybe he'll be able to collaborate with a James Wan one day, and they can produce something really good. So hopefully, if, like, this guy, like, your first is your worst. It's like, and that's okay. So hopefully the guy who made this can fucking look back on this and go, wow, that was bad, but I'm glad I made it. But, overall, this is not going to be a fun watch for him when he's on his deathbed watching all of his movies. When he's watching them all again, he's going to go, wow, this is really fucking terrible. I can't believe I made this. So, alright, lads, that's the rosy review of Skinamarink, or Skunkamarink, as I'm going to call it. Or Skidmark. Trash. Skinamarink. Skunkamarink. Skidmarkerink. Something. It's pretty bad. Okay. I can't believe I wasted my whole fucking night. I wasted Friday night doing that. Again, I could have been fucking a girl tonight. I watched Skinamarink instead. I'm actually on a dating app, and I actually matched with a girl who loves horror, and I invited her to come see this. I'm like, I'm actually going to see a horror movie. You want to see it? And she's like, haha, no, didn't look good. Sorry. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's how bad this was. She said we'll get along if you like horror, and then she offered to be my gym partner. I'm like, oh, the vibe here is real. Do you want to go see this? No, I saw the trailer. It didn't look good. Oh, okay. There's Rosie's night, lads. What a shame. Well, you know what? I sit here. That girl is way smarter than I am, because I went and fucking sat through this fucking nonsense, dude. I did upgrade my Golem deck a bit during it, though. It was pretty good. My Clash Royale Golem deck. I'm coming along in Clash Royale, lads. Oh, God. Fucking at me. Don't at me with this shit, bro. Don't at me and tell me how great this was. This was very frustrating. A lot of potential, and I hope this guy fucking remakes this movie. If this guy gets 20 more years of directorial experience and then remakes this movie in 20 years, I will go see it. Because there is potential here, but just right now, this version of it feels like fucking pre-alpha, beta, first draft nonsense, and it's pretty bad. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna get the hell out of here. GG's, lads. There's your fucking Rosie review tonight.